Which one do you want to play? The sleepy one?
Yes.
The airplane one?
A sleepy one.
You want to play a sleepy one?
What's that one?
Oh no, that was my fault. Dang, you're doing good. Yeah, girl. Oh. Hey, silly. That's the wrong foot. No, you silly ghost. What is this? Okay, now say.
Good morning.
We're right back into the grind of the family.
Yeah.
Kristin has high fitness. That's her workout class. So we're gonna take Winnie to go get donuts. We're gonna go to school. And today, Q&A, hard questions only.
Hard questions. Let's jump into it. So there's some really deep ass shit in here. And I'm going to talk about it. And I'm going to say my answers. And I'm probably going to get judged for them. But so let's start off with kind of an easy one. Why don't you shave your legs fully? I guess laziness? I do the hairy boxers because one, that's all that you're going to see. And two, one time I had Kristin shave everything, even my butt crack. And she was in there shaving it all. I was totally bare bones and I hated it. As it came back in, the stubble really bothered me. And so when I have stubble all the way up, like near the junk, I don't know, dude, I hate it. So hairy boxers is how I roll. These are hard questions. Do you partake in recreational drugs or alcohol? I have wanted to do a video on my history with drugs and alcohol, but what I am so afraid of is that lots of kids watch this channel. And if I don't absolutely slam everything, there is a potential that I would encourage someone to go and use chemicals to alter their brain. And here's the thing about drugs and alcohol, which I don't like that's even separated. Alcohol is a drug. Drugs, if it changes your biochemistry, that's a drug. Caffeine, drug. Bikes, drug. Sex, drug. So before I answer this, let me say this. If you are a kid, do not do drugs. And whatever someone else's experience is doesn't automatically mean it's going to be your experience. One person can drink a beer and be fine. Another person, that beer can absolutely destroy your life. So you need to be educated on the dosages, what you're doing, and ease yourself into substances if that's a choice you want to make. But try not to do it until you're 25. My history has been that I drank a lot of alcohol when I was young. My mom had a very unique way to parent me, which was that I know you're gonna do drugs at some point. So I would rather you do them with me or ask me or have me facilitate a safe environment for you if you wanted to. So I was never told, do not do drugs, you will die. And it honestly really worked for me. I was not interested in drugs or alcohol or anything because I knew that I could do it at any time. So when I saw my other friends drinking and smoking, it didn't have that lure to it. And then when I did drink my first beer, it was a Smirnoff Ice. I think I was 15 and I just had one alcoholic drink, this Smirnoff Ice, like strawberry. And that sort of taught me dosage about alcohol because when you go to a party as a young person and you see all these people drinking, you don't know what your limit is. So you just Jack Daniels a whole bottle and then you might die. And so it actually gave me this really amazing spectrum on how alcohol affected me at a young age. And so even when at the height of partying, 16, 17, 18, where I was drinking every single weekend, my intake was 3 Smirnoff Ices a night, 4, maybe max. I had a really bad experience with cannabis when I was young, where I was peer pressured into it. I was smoking a bong. I had no idea what I was doing. All of a sudden, clap, I am full sprinting in a field. Why am I in a field? I don't know. All of a sudden, flash, I'm staring at a horse. I'm face to face with a horse. I'm like, what is happening right now? And then all of a sudden, flash, and then I'm at Subway and I'm trying to order a 6-foot sandwich and I have no vocabulary to tell Subway what I want. And I'm thinking in my head that I'm trying to order a 6-inch roast beef with onions and salt and pepper. What's coming out is, I want a 6-footer, man. I was so turned off by cannabis after that bad experience that basically I just never really did that again, and sort of, I don't know, didn't really drink that much either. I just never, wasn't something I liked. I didn't like the feeling of alcohol, and I was afraid of cannabis. The role your father played in your life and how you father your kids based on that. That's a good one. So, my dad was never really a part of my life. My mom and dad were never married. Yesterday I talked about how I never really wanted kids, but that changed for me. My dad never really went through that doorway. So my dad was super hands-off. I visited him a couple times, but never really had that big of a relationship with him. So I never really thought much about my relationship with my dad. He just wasn't really a part of my life until I had my son. And when I had my son, and the older my son got, the more I resented my father so much, because how could you not want to be a part of your kid's life? I looked at my son and thought, dude, this would break my heart. My soul would crumble if I couldn't be a part of his life. So then it went from kind of whatever, and I talked to him every once in a while, maybe occasionally I'd see him, to that I really started to hate him. And the way I parent my kids now is actually much better because of him. He showed me everything not to do. Some parents can show you how to be a good parent. He showed me how to be not a good parent. And so actually, he helped me a ton be one of the best parents I think I could have ever been. Next question. Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.
How do you justify so much time away from the family riding? And do you feel guilty? I feel wildly guilty all the time. And that's really been something I've had to work through with my wife, Kristin. So if I'm gonna spend time away from the family, I need to make sure that it's worth it by not feeling guilty. But that's a conversation that I've had with my wife many times to make sure that we're on the same page. All right, here's our workout for the day. It's a doozy. Thanks, Tony. But the way that I can answer this question is that some people will say relationships are 50-50. They're not 50-50. They're 100-100. I have to give 100% of my energy into my family if I'm going to expect 100% back from them. So when at any time, I have the opportunity to return the favor to them, I do it, no questions asked. My wife and my kids know that if any reason I needed to delete my channel and sell my bikes for them, I would in a heartbeat. I wouldn't even question it. But I'll end it on this. When it comes to family time, it's quality over quantity. I could sit on the couch with my kids 8 hours a day. That's not really doing anything. That's not making any memories. That's not quality. So for like this month, if we're looking at verticals, I'm spending a tremendous amount of time on videos and writing, and very little time on my family. But because ad revenue is like 5 times in December, your boy's gonna get some stacks. And with those stacks, in January, I will give my kids my undivided attention. I won't have to make a single video. I won't even touch social media in January. And then we will go on a trip, we'll make memories, and I won't have to worry about work whatsoever. My verticals will flip, and I will be 100% about my family, and cycling will absolutely take the back burner. Okay, a couple rapid fire ones. What are your true thoughts on social media platforms? I think, like anything, they have great ups and great downs. It's all about the user experience and dosage. You can ruin your life with water, or it can save your life. Same thing with social media. Use accordingly. One thing that your kids could do with their lives that would completely disappoint you. Wow. To give up. If they gave up, I would be wildly disappointed. I've never taught them to give up. No matter how hard things are, I really want to instill to keep moving forward. If they gave up, I'd be disappointed. How do you handle opening up as a man and sharing your emotions on your channel? I was raised by 2 badass women, my grandma and my mom. And I don't think I ever learned the male instinct to hold on to emotions. I've just become very open about my emotions. I feel that that's the easiest path through life, is to overshare. This workout is getting progressively harder as the questions are getting harder. Biggest regret and how do you prevent it again? Biggest regret, not investing in Bitcoin. I was sitting at my computer when it was $70 a coin and I was like, that's way too much. How do I prevent it? Learn about crypto and get into it, which I have, and I lost a shit ton of money. So great. Okay, so this question is similar to a lot of other ones. Will your son resent the content about your difficulty connecting with him? And I'm gonna also lump that in with, do you think my kids are gonna be mad that I showed them on the channel, that I put their face on there without their consent, I guess? I mean, I'm not really sure. If my son came to me when he was older and was very mad about what I did, we'd cross that bridge when we came to it, but I don't think I ever exploited them. You know what I mean? I didn't use them to make money. And I believe that if I died, got hit by a car, and the videos are all that my kids and my wife had left of me, that they would be very happy that they were in it.
Oh, so 4 days.
Whew. So, why do you choose cycling over your family? Well, I wouldn't really put it that way, that I choose cycling over my family. It's not like I just ride all day long and never see the family. But I guess what I would say is that I want to be around when I'm 60. I want to be healthy as shit, and I want to be active. I want to show my kids, I want to lead them by example. Your life experience dictates your perception of reality. And when someone is not very fit and they go do a 60-mile ride, afterwards, trashed. My first 60-mile ride, I was useless for like a week. And if that's how my body responded to riding, then there's no possible way that I could choose cycling over my family, because that is, I ride and then I come home, I'm useless. That's unacceptable. When I get done with the ride, I don't go, done, I need a nap and some food. I go straight into dad mode, straight into husband mode. I've trained myself over many arguments and many nights on the couch to know that when I'm done riding, that I'm not done. I've proved this to my wife over and over and over again. Every big fondo that I've ever done where she's there, I roll in the door, I could be as wrecked as ever. And I'm just like, let's go to dinner. I'll take the kids. Boom, 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 boom. There's never a question that I chose cycling over my family.
Maybe it's a new beginning. Maybe it's the start of where it ends. I know. It comes down to all or nothing. This time it's for real, we can't pretend. You know, they're closing in.
Have you ever taken a video down because you overshared or someone important to you asked you to? It's a good question. I always think that every video I post, I think someone's gonna ask me to take it down. Only once, Peter Sagan video, that woman crashed, I used that clip. I think a friend of hers asked me to take it down, and I did not. I did not see a reason to, because I did not put her name out there. I didn't say anything about her as a person. It is what happened. And I, right or wrong, haven't really thought about it since, but yeah, I did get asked to take that video down. How do you deal with all the hate? Cool, so that segues into that, right? So I'm a recovering addict, is what I would say, is that right now, it doesn't bother me that much. But I could slip into a really dark place where it could really mess with my mind. I've really been working on it a lot to focus more on the positive than the negative, but it is just instinct to focus on that negative. You feel attacked, you get an actual buildup of chemicals, and it's very hard to mentally override that. So things that I've done to try to help not be so bothered by hate comments. One is to not read the comments, but I feel that that's disingenuous and unfair to the people that spend the time to write me really loving messages. If I don't read their message because I'm afraid of some coward posting some bullshit, that's not a way to live life. But the main thing that I've done to help me with this is to reframe my thoughts of these people. We've talked a lot about words and vocabulary and how they change your mindset. And for me, once I started calling them cowards, that word really helped me because I don't respect a coward. And just when I myself see a meme account that says some dumb stuff, they're a coward. And to me, I don't respect them. So then it doesn't bother me as much. Because you know, if like your parents say, I'm really disappointed in you, that hurts so much more because you respect their opinion. If I don't respect them, then their words don't hurt me as much. But I have to reframe it by calling them, or in my mind, assuming they're a coward. Because has any of those meme accounts or any of those negative comments ever said something to me in person? No. And if someone came up to me and said something to my face, either A, that person is a real asshole, or I deserved what they said to me. Me. Us. We've got two squads. We have a local squad and a travel squad.
To be fast for grits. I don't give a fuck about anything else. So.
Best singers in the whole world.
Good job, baby. Baby killed it. Dinner time now.
Don't stop. In your eyes, I see a fire lighting up as we're getting away. There's no going back, and I'm loving the chase. Where you go, I follow. When I'm giving up, never hitting the brakes. There's no going back, and I'm loving the chase. When I'm giving up, never hitting the brakes. There's no going back, and I'm loving you.
All right, what an amazing night. Little dance, Christmas recital, super cute. So back to the hard Q&As. Another question that I think would be good for her to answer is someone said, if your wife asked you to quit YouTube, quit bikes, and help raise the family, would I?
That's not a healthy relationship if I'm having to tell you to stop YouTube, stop cycling, because then you're going to have that resentment towards me, and then that's a big thing for someone to ask of their spouse. You know what I mean?
I don't think I would ever put you in that situation where it got so bad that I was not paying attention to you or the family, that you would even feel the necessity of like, I need to tell them to stop riding.
Right. That would be at a pretty bad place if I'm having to even think of suggesting something like that. How has cycling gotten you through the hard times in life?
I think it's just an escapism, right? Things are difficult, they're hard, you get on the bike, and for a moment, you clear your mind. And whatever you think is really super important right at the moment, when you start riding away from your problems, your mind is able to be cleared, you're able to maybe reassess and reframe how you're looking at that situation. But sometimes riding can make problems in your life. So you gotta find that balance.
How do you deal with not being able to achieve your goals?
Not being able to achieve my goals, it haunts me all night, all day. It's really something that drives me to accomplish goals because I can never let it go. When I fail at something, it bothers me so very much. And that fire burns until I achieve it. And then I start a new fire.
If you had to choose one spot to ride in California for the rest of your life, where would it be?
Bass Lake. Absolutely. Hands down. Love it. I've been all over the country. Now, I haven't been out of the country, so I don't know anything out there, but I've been all over the country riding in amazing places, and every single time I miss Bass Lake. I love Bass Lake. The only other place that would come close to Bass Lake is Cayucas.
When was the last time you cried and why?
Well, I cried yesterday a little bit when I got home, and I just, there was a whole vibe to the house. The house was clean, it was warm, it was inviting. My kids, my wife, I just felt very at home. Sometimes I get very annoyed at my kids. They're yelling, they're fighting. The house is dirty. it's hard to appreciate what I have. When I leave for a few days, you don't even understand how much I appreciate everything, and that puts into perspective just how lucky I am. The other time that I cried was Death Valley, and that was in the video when she hugged me. She embraced me in such a way that was just pure love. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. As always, Vegan Cyclist.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Thank you, Bubbas.
In your